Hello friends, and welcome back for another episode of Vegan Baking Basics. This is week 5, and today we are going to make basic white cake. So I absolutely love this recipe. This is such a jack of all trades on my blog. I have turned this recipe into confetti cake, chocolate chip cake, cherry cake, blueberry cake, lemon cake, orange cake. It is just so versatile, and it takes other flavors so well. So I'm excited to share it with you. As you notice, we have a lot of ingredients this week. So in addition to kind of the usual stuff, we have like the flour with baking powder, baking soda, and salt already mixed in here, some vegan butter, sugar. This is just some non-dairy milk, oil. So one of these special ingredients for this week, this is a flax egg. It's still working on it, but this is just flaxseed mixed with a bit of water. And I've already mixed it up so it can start to kind of thicken up and gel up like an egg. If you remember, I kind of briefly talked about egg replacers last week with the chocolate chip recipe, the chocolate chip cookie recipe. So for the cookies, I really like aquafaba. For this cake recipe, I really like the flax egg better. I feel like it just gives the cake more structure. I have tried to make it with the aquafaba, and I feel like it just comes a little bit too delicate and a little bit too soft, so the cake tends to kind of fall apart. By using the flaxseed, it holds together really well, and it's makes for a really nice sturdy cake that can be stacked and turned into a layer cake. The other special ingredient this week is this. This is just vegan yogurt. Personally, I tend to use the Silk Soy vanilla yogurt, but I've also done their almond milk yogurt. I've used coconut milk yogurt. Really whatever you want to use is fine. If you have vegan sour cream, that is an acceptable substitute as well. Okay, so now that we've talked about the ingredients, I want to talk about the technique a little bit. So again, going back to last week with the cookies, we did something called creaming, or butter and sugar together. And so what we did is we beat the butter and the white sugar and the brown sugar together until everything was really light and fluffy. What we're doing this week is a process called reverse creaming. So the end product is still going to be a light and fluffy baked good, but the process is a little bit different. So I'm actually going to start as I'm talking about it. So I'm going to take my dry ingredients. Again, this is flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Add them to my stand mixer bowl. Fill. Come on, in you go. Perfect. And to that, I'm going to add the sugar. This is just regular white sugar. And I'm going to add in our butter. And so instead of creaming the butter and sugar by themselves, we are going to work it in with the flour as well. And again, that just still gets us a nice and fluffy end product. It's just a little bit of a different process. And so I like to use my stand mixer because this way it can just be running without me having to do anything with it. This will run for a few minutes until the butter is totally incorporated. As you've noticed, my butter is not melted, it's just a little bit softened. And what it'll do is it'll incorporate itself with the butter and the flour, with the sugar and the flour, and make kind of a sandy texture. So I'm going to start this up, let it run, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so that looks good. As you can see, it's just kind of sandy, all incorporated. What you want to do is you want to mix it up until there are no large butter chunks remaining. So this right here is perfect. So that's it for our dry ingredients. I'm going to scooch this out of the way. We're going to work on our wet ingredients. So in a bowl or in a large measuring cup like I'm using here, I am going to mix up the rest. So here we have the vegetable oil, and we have our vegan yogurt. Got that all in there. Get out of the cup. Good. And then here we have our flax egg. You can see it is nice and thickened, and that will work to give some structure and stability to our cake. Okay, so mix that up gently. And so if you want to change up the flavor of the cake, this is where you will do it. So today I'm actually going to make some confetti cupcakes. So To this, I'm going to add some vanilla extract. And honestly, I would recommend adding vanilla no matter what flavor you're making. And to my confetti cake, I like to add just a little bit of almond extract. I like the little bit of flavor it gives. Be warned that almond extract is really strong, so I would be very conservative with how much you add. A small little splash is usually enough. Close that up. Okay, and then today, because it's basically still a white cake, I am going to use some non-dairy milk. For the times that I turn it into a lemon or orange cake, I will replace half or even all of the milk with juice so that the flavor comes through a little bit more. But again, this recipe is versatile. Don't feel like the rules are written in stone. You are welcome to change it up as needed for your own recipes. Okay, so mix this all up. Nice little sludge. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now that I've mixed this all up is I'm going to pour it into the mixer as it runs slowly. So last thing, if you want, would be to add in any mix-ins. So again, because today I am doing a confetti cake, I have some little rainbow sprinkles that I'm going to put in here. As I've said earlier, I have turned this into like a chocolate chunk cake. So this is when you would add in your chocolate. If you are adding any sort of dry or fresh fruit pieces, this is a good time to add them in. Really, with these, you add them in and you mix just until combined. You don't want to end up over mixing your batter. So there you go, lots of sprinkles. Quick little stir to mix those in. And there it is. Okay, so here is my cupcake pan, and then I am going to scoop this out. Okay, so now that all my cupcakes have been topped off, they're all filled up about 2/3 of the way. I'll bake these in 350-degree oven, 15 to 20 minutes. I'll just check them with a toothpick and see where they're at. And then after that, we will frost them and we will eat them. Okay, you guys, so here are the finished cupcakes. I ended up baking them for 17 minutes at 350. They're nice and fluffy. Let me show you what the inside of this one looks like. So excited. So nice and soft. It's still a little bit warm, but you can see that crumb is just like perfect, light and fluffy. And that is it for white cake. Again, I turned it into confetti cake today, but you can turn it into literally any flavor you would like. Again, I will have different recipes linked up in the blog post to show you how to turn it into different flavors, but as always, the point of this whole series is to encourage you to be creative and come up with your own combinations. So I really hope you guys will try my recipe out and make it your own. I am going to frost these cupcakes and then I'll show you what they look like in a minute. All right, guys, and here are the finished and decorated cupcakes. They are so cute, and you can see the really cute little swirl on there. Added some sprinkles, and so that is it on how to make confetti cupcakes. As far as the frosting, you can refer back to the video from week 1. It is still that same exact recipe. I just added vanilla and a little bit of almond to kind of match the cupcakes. And then as far as how to decorate the cupcakes, I am actually going to show you that in the video for next week. So be sure to come back and check that out. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me on IGTV, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you happen to see this video. And as usual, be sure to like and subscribe.